everybody. Thanks for listening to On the Podcast. This is a short format episode podcast that you can listen to while you're doing your business on the pot. Or maybe the holiday season has officially passed and now it's just winter.
I was about to say, thank God, but then it's just
dark and maybe cold, although it hasn't
it's still
really
cold.
been
It's still cold
yet. Dark and cold and winter. So while you're getting over your seasonal affective disorder and sitting in the sun during the day.
Seasonal affective disorder and like post-holiday depression.
Yeah. Turn on an episode of On the Podcast and learn a little bit and get some Liz and Katie giggles in your life. Learn a little bit.
If nothing else will stop you from jumping off that bridge. Or we'll jump with you.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Liz. Hey, Katie.
Hey, Liz.
What are we talking about today?
Liz, so as I mentioned in the intro, it's just dark. And my body, especially when it first starts, I mean, truly, when it gets dark at like 4:30, my body thinks it's like 8 or 9 o'clock, even like a month or two into this winter thing. So
it gets like so confusing. It's just like, yeah, I don't like driving at night, but like my day is far from over by the time it's night.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
still got shit to do.
I got to put my glasses on. And I don't want to do any of that shit.
Yep. No.
Like for my job showing houses, I always tell people like, look, I've never sold a house that I've shown in the dark.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so like, people don't get off work until later anyway, so we can go look at these houses, and then you're fumbling with the lockbox because there's no lights. And then, like, it's just dark, and it's like, I know this is the only time you had, but, like...
It's dark.
It's dark. We're going to have to come back this weekend when, it's light out, so...
Okay, so anyway... what I'm going to tell you today about a geologist that, like, kind of became the father of the knowledge behind our internal clocks as humans.
Yeah, I feel like I softball pitched that to you.
So his name is Michel Siffre, and I apologize. It's going to change throughout the episode of how I pronounce that. As I said, a geologist from France. In 1961, he discovered an underground glacier in the Alps. And being a geologist, he was like, oh, I really am interested in studying this glacier. I want to live in this underground cave for 15 days and like study this glacier. But he decided that 15 days was not long enough.
So I've been watching this show on Netflix called 60 Days In.
Oh,
it's about people who actively enter themselves into prison to like kind of like do an audit of the prison, right? They pretend they're prisoners. Okay. Yeah. So very similar.
Honestly, a lot came of this, but we'll talk about that deeper into the episode. So Siffre decided that 2 months would be enough time.
60 days in.
To study the glacier. So July 16th, 1962, he went underground into this cave all by himself. No sunlight, no access to clocks, no access to a calendar.
Weird.
So set up a system where he was inside of the cave and he had a team outside of the cave. So he would just like yell up to them and say like, I'm eating, I'm going to sleep, I woke up. But they had zero communication with him, and he would not allow any communication with him. So he lived 375 feet down underground for 63 days with only a 4-volt lamp for illumination.
That's crazy. Do you remember the guy that buried himself alive?
Kind of, but I don't remember really, like...
I don't remember how long he was down there for. I don't think it was 2 months. I think it was like 30 something.
Yeah. So because his team, he wouldn't allow
Listen to that episode. Tell us.
Call us back. So because he had no communication with his team, he had, truly no idea of like a concept of time. And he, only had bad equipment. And because he was living next to this glacier, his feet were always wet. His body temperature got as low as 93 degrees.
Brr.
So, yeah, not pleasant living
Isn't
conditions
hypothermia
for 2
like
months.
right around like 95?
He didn't get hypothermia. There were no reports of it, so it has
that.
to be, but it has to be like around there.
Yeah.
I don't know. So his pastimes were reading, writing, and doing research in the cave, which I guess was like chipping away at this glacier, staring at the rocks, or I'm not sure what. He said he also spent a lot of time talking about his future, and that there were 2 specific tests that he would perform every time he would call up to his team at the surface. He would take his pulse, and then there was a psychological test to it. He would count to 120 seconds at the rate of at a normal rate. He would count 120 seconds. The very strange thing is that 120 seconds took him 5 minutes to count through.
Whoa.
So he thought his 2 minutes were actually, in reality, 5 minutes.
Weird.
So his internal clock just got all thrown off. And this was really truly the first time that anybody had done any sort of experiments like this. And so they were starting to understand the concept of an internal clock.
Yeah.
So when he was supposed to leave on September 14th, so that was the date of your experiment's done, his team had called down to him and said, "Hey, Michel, we're done with the experiment. Your time's up." He thought it was August 20th.
Oh, wow.
So he had 25 days of time that was
just weird.
unaccounted for. So Liz, the technical term of this internal clock study is it's chronobiology. And before this experiment in the 60s, it had been discovered in rats in 1922, but it hadn't been studied in humans. So he said when he came out of the cave, he had perfect sleep, which makes sense because it was pitch black and nothing to distract him. Whereas normal people have a 24-hour sleep-wake cycle, his became 24 and a half hours.
Huh.
So he would just sleep until his body woke him up, and then he would wake up and he would, research.
Somehow gains a half hour.
Yeah.
Weird.
Which is, super strange. So after he came up out of the cave, he became super interested in this and sent other people down to live in caves.
I was going to say, it's kind of flawed research if you only have one guy.
Yeah. So he would send other people down into caves. And the really interesting thing is their sleep-wake cycle became 48 hours.
Oh, whoa.
Which had 36 hours of continuous activity, followed by about 12 to 14 hours of sleep.
That's crazy. I do feel like if I was in pretty much total darkness, I would sleep a lot longer.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder what it would be like in total light. So what Alaskans are doing in the summertime.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's call Cody Rixey blackout shades. That's what he's getting. That's what he'll tell you.
But if you don't have blackout shades, then what's your sleep
screwed.
cycle? What's your day cycle like?
I don't know. Long. It's long.
Michel, did you figure that out?
Michel. So he decided a few years later in 1972 he wanted to go back into the cave. Boy. Not that cave, but another cave actually in Texas, called the Midnight Cave. And this time he went 2,970 feet below ground and stayed 6 months down there.
Ew.
So this one was interesting because it actually
Do
started...
you think it was just that, he realized how good of sleep he got?
And
missed
his sleep.
I'm going to do this for 6 months.
Maybe.
I'm tired.
Backfired, though, because his mental state started going.
Yeah.
At one point, he like had sensors on him, and he ripped the sensors off because he was like so sick of it, and he thought about calling off this experiment, slept on it for however many hours, and decided to like reattach them, stay down there, continue living in this cave. But he started, like, again, his mental state started to deteriorate. And he feared the fungus that grew on the cave walls, and he thought he was going to catch a disease from the dust in the air.
Yeah, caves are weird. Also, maybe he, like, didn't want to pay his rent.
Well, side fact about this, he went into so much debt.
Yeah.
Funding these experiments and also, like, living months at a time without, like, payments of any sort.
You gotta have some crazy motivation to try and do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And if the motivation is purely because you're homeless and have no money, I guess I get it.
Stay in this cave.
Yeah.
So one other sad fact about this, there was a little mouse in the cave with him, and he tried to like befriend this mouse because it was like the only other living thing down there. So he tried to catch it, somehow ended up squishing and killing this mouse, and then like thought about killing himself because he was so depressed about this mouse.
Yeah, wow.
So he did get a little bit of government funding for these research projects. He actually got some funding from NASA because it was like the start of the space race, and NASA didn't know how astronauts' bodies were going to be affected in the darkness in space. So they were kind of playing on his research in the darkness in caves, hoping it would work out the same way. But yeah, he went into a bunch of debt, $100,000 in debt, actually. Ended up divorcing his wife, and was
I would divorce that guy too. Like, are you kidding me?
Another weird little sad fact, because that's what this is. So he went into another cave in November 1999 to celebrate the millennium inside of a cave. But he missed it because his time clock was up. He missed it by 3 days. And he brought foie gras and champagne to celebrate, but it was 3 days late.
Well. So, okay, but what else? What was he eating, like, aside from foie gras?
It didn't go into super amount of details about that. I'm assuming his team probably, like, would send freeze-dried, non-perishable kind of foodstuffs down there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't fresh food. I'm sure it wasn't anything
that
super
has a factor on that
nutritious.
too, though, right?
Yeah, that wasn't actually talked about in anything that I read, though. So, good question. We'll figure it out.
Weird. I wonder, like, how that affected his sight and everything.
There was a video of him coming up from the 1972 cave, and he, like, it was immediately when he got into the sunshine. He, like,
weird.
Yeah, I think it would take a while to, like, get your body back into living some sort of normalcy.
Yeah, ask the people 60 days in. They had some adjustments to make.
There you go.
That's crazy. I have so many follow-up questions.
Yeah, unfortunately, he died in 2024, so.
Wow,
but
he made it a long time.
Yeah, wow. There you go.
Weird.
Michel Siffre.
So I guess the only real way to maintain, like, a static internal clock is to live somewhere by the equator.
Yeah, or don't ever go anywhere and hope that time doesn't change and sunlight doesn't change and yeah, I guess the equator.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Katie. I've, like, overwhelmed and depressed at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
Yeah. What's that inside my body?
An internal clock.
Yeah.
It's telling you it's time for bed.
It is. I am tired.
And also a little bit of knowledge.
Well.
Okay. See you next time.
See you sometime.
See you 24 hours, 48 hours, 36 hours.
Wait, we don't know.
Bye.
Bye.